So I just got this palette and I'm kind of sort of excited and I'm kind of sort of not. I'm excited because it's a beautiful ass palette. If you love warm tones, this is going to be like you in a makeup palette, and that is totally me. And I mean, it's just beautiful. These shadows right here are supposed to be like a textured finish. That is the thing that I'm kind of excited about, but I'm also a little bit wary about it because I've heard some mixed reviews. I've heard that you have to apply them with your fingers to be able to actively use them, like I guess the way they're intended to. So I was not really fond of that because I don't like using my fingers. I do wear nails and kind of long nails sometimes. So you know, I bought it and I have a little bit of a theory regarding these shadows and I'm gonna try it out. My whole thought process was that maybe they might work if you spray them or if you use like a shorter stiff brush. So I have this one here from BH Cosmetics. It doesn't really have a name, but it's just a short stiff brush as opposed to the looser ones that we tend to use for our eyelid colors. Then I also have this one. It's a smaller like detail brush. So I'm gonna try those two out. I think I might have another one. Yeah, I have this one also from Jessup Brushes, and this is just a short shader brush. This one has a name. I'm hoping it kind of works, and I'm kind of hoping it doesn't work because this was $83 Canadian. $83, but we're gonna try it out. All right, let's get into the video. So because I'm going to work after this, I'm gonna do a kind of neutral tone. I'm not gonna venture into any of these super cool bright tones here. I'm not sure if this really needs a primer, but I'm gonna use this one anyways. This is the Essence I Love Stage eyeshadow base, and I'm just gonna put a thin amount of this on my lids and just kind of spread it out because it does have a tint and kind of a color to it. It's much lighter than my skin tone. So I'm gonna try it first with the Jessup shader brush here and see how it works. Okay, guys, so I swiped my brush on it and there's no pigment on my brush. No pigment. There's like a few specks on my brush. Okay, so it's definitely not working with this brush. I think maybe I'm gonna try a smaller brush and see if that works. Okay, it works a little bit, but still not like working like a typical eyeshadow. Okay, and now there's like a huge chunk on my lid. Okay, all right. So I'm actually gonna zoom you guys in because I feel like I'm not as close as I should be and I want you guys to see what's going on. Okay, so we're zoomed in and this is pretty much what's on my eye so far. I have one more brush to try. I'm gonna try this BH Cosmetics shader brush and see how that works. Seems to be doing a little bit better, but I'm not getting like a smooth texture on my lid here. Like I'm not able to spread it out as nice as I would want it to, and it would take a lot more time than typically needed in order for me to get a smooth kind of look on my lids here with this brush anyways. I have one last brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush, and this one doesn't have a name again, but it's just like, honestly, I think this one is a lip brush. So I am able to pick up a lot more pigment. Okay, so this one does seem to be working a lot nicer, but still, like, yeah, I feel like I can't get an even consistency on the lid, and it really just looks like a whole bunch of crap topped on my lid. It kind of makes my eyes look crepey, and there's like a lot of flakes, like flaking off from the eyeshadow. You're not going to be able to see it because I just kind of shaked them out. Huda did say that these shadows should be applied with the finger, so I'm going to apply it with my finger but on my other eye, and let's see how this is applying. So right away I can tell by applying it with the finger, it does give it a more seamless, smooth finish on the eye. It definitely doesn't look as textured as this side, but you can tell it still does have a texture to it. So if you don't have long nails, this might work for you. And honestly, I feel like this left eye looks a little bit more intense than this eye here that I applied with my finger. I'm going to go in with the shade Sandalwood here. It's a nice medium toned brown. It's probably just gonna blend into my skin tone. And honestly, it doesn't seem to be that pigmented, which is pretty sad. My camera kind of cut off and I didn't realize, but all I did was I used Sandalwood in the crease. Then I put henna, which is a more red shade here in the direct crease, and then for my brow bone I went in with Bay, which is this light ivory. There you go. This is the light ivory shade here, which is on my brow bone. Now I'm going back in with some Sandalwood, which is this lighter shade right here, and I'm gonna blend it out a little bit more just so that white shade doesn't look too stark on my brow bone. Why don't we go ahead and apply some of this Moon Dust shade? It seems like a satin, maybe it's a satin or a shimmer, like your traditional shimmer shade. I'm gonna take some of that into the inner tear ducts here just to brighten it up. Okay, so that's pretty much the eye look. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, then I will come back and share my final thoughts on it. Alright guys, so I am back. I finished off my face. I actually want to start off with the packaging first. I really like this whole idea here of her having the eyes on the front of the box, and I really like this little foil detail on the lids of the eyes because it just gives it like an extra pop. All right, so I got the palette out and you see there is a cardboard type packaging. It's kind of sleek. It is lightweight, but to be honest, for $83, this honestly just feels like a super kind of flimsy cardboard. I know a lot of people ordered this off of the Huda site when it first launched, I believe at the beginning of September, and they even said that when their palettes came to them, it had like dents in the side. So I guess that kind of speaks to the quality of this cardboard. This is a lot smaller than I thought it was. I mean, I knew there was gonna be 18 shadows in the palette. I knew it was like a black encasing and everything, but for some reason I just envisioned it being a little bit bigger than what it was. I do like that you can see all the eyeshadows through the top portion of it. I don't know, it just gives it a nice display and you can see exactly what you're going to be using. Now, let's actually talk about the shadows themselves. I did think that the mattes were kind of dry. So when you dip your fingers into them, they don't have the most amazing buttery texture with them. Like for example, I'm gonna dip my finger, my pinky finger, into this henna shade right here. When you look on my finger, it does seem like it's intensely pigmented, but then if I was to just swatch this on the back of my hand right here, you can see like it's not the most intensely pigmented eyeshadow, which to me, that's not really the best thing, especially when this palette does cost $83. I honestly tried this particular eyeshadow with like 4 different brushes. The only brush that seemed to work a little bit was a very small lip brush that I had from a BH Cosmetics brush set. So when I applied the product onto this side with the brush, it did apply, but it just kind of seemed like it was building up like very heavily, and it kind of gave my eyelids like that textured effect, but it's not a very nice textured effect. It looked like more intense than this eye did, and it also just looked like it was sitting on the eyelid. It wasn't attractive. Pretty sure that when applying your makeup products to your face, your intention is not to make them look aged. So I don't know, I guess she was trying to be innovative with these eyeshadows, but for me it kind of is missing the mark. On this eye I did apply it with my finger, which is how Huda kind of recommended, and I still felt like I didn't get the best application. So basically when I took my finger and like applied the pigment or the textured shadow over my lid, what you can see when you look closer in this area is that some parts of my eyelid are like blank and they don't have any product adhered to them. So I don't know, like if that's how you're supposed to apply the shadow and that's how she recommends it, then I would expect that it would go on, you know, super smooth, super seamless, and have the best pigmentation, but that is just not my experience with the textured shadow. I am definitely not just going to, you know, say I'm done with this palette and take it back. I do really want to try it because I kind of knew what to expect beforehand and I just wanted to give it a try by myself, but overall I'm not really impressed with these shadows. The softer shadow that I put in the inner tear duct right here, which was Moon Dust, that one's more of like your traditional shimmer or satin shade. I do like the effect of that one. It really does brighten up the inner corners of my eyes. Overall, I mean, yeah, the colors are pretty and it's like me in a palette, but to be honest, to have to apply this type of a shadow to your lids with your fingers, really just not convenient. Overall, my first impression of this palette is... Let me know if you guys have picked up this product and what you guys are thinking about it, because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about it. Some people are giving it really, really good reviews and saying it's the most amazing palette. Some people are saying it really sucks, and they have the same thoughts as I do. Especially with the textured shadows. So comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to thumbs up the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe on your way out, and until my next video, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you again. Bye. Highly coveted Mega Glow highlighters. These were like all the rave during the summertime, but the big question is, do I think these were worth the hype? So if you want to see my thoughts, definitely go ahead and stay tuned.